Hey guys, Snowbeck here out in the garage. Bitter cold day out there today. Don't want to go working that. So spent some time out here in the garage. And last time I showed you, we got the Mustang 78. It's all primered. And like I told you before, once it's all one uniform color, then you can see a little more imperfections much easier. So let's go take a look. I'll show you. I actually found a couple other dents I had to address. And I'll show you what I'm going to try and do with my that little crease over here. So now don't forget, I'm not a professional body man. I'm just doing this, for my own stuff. So let's go take a look. All right, so obviously things a mess. You can see dirt and grime and dust. It's all sanded down. I sanded this whole thing. It's smooth as a baby's butt. So it's beautiful. So here's what I did. Sanded down that whole patch, and I just took some putty and I built this little line, just kind of like a line all the way down along that body line. So I just built that up and then feathered it out, feathered it up. So once that dries, I just did that 20 minutes ago, and there's that beautiful Bondo smell. So as soon as that dries, maybe this weekend, I'll give it a couple of days. I want it to be good and hard, so it doesn't gum up my my sandpaper, and that's a pain in the ass when the sandpaper just gets all gummed up. If you don't wait long enough, this isn't hard enough, then the sandpaper gets all gunky and it just makes a mess. So let it get good and hard, then it sands easier. And then I'm going to try and just by hand just sand that crease until it matches. If it takes a couple times, then that's what I'll do. But I'll sand that along that line, and I think I can get that, because that was a pretty big dent. Like I said, I can't get it popped out, and that's the only thing I really know. So we're going to give it a try, and I will bet you it'll work. Mark my words. Now, after I primed it and I was sanding, I found two more dents down here. Didn't even realize they were there until I started sanding. And then you could see where the dents were because it was a low spot. So put a little filler in there and filled those two little dents. They're just tiny. So those will be good. Dry that, they'll sand that nice. You'll never even know that was there. And I came over here, and you can see, I showed you in the video last time, I had a spot here and had a spot there. So I sanded it all back down, and then I just kind of feathered up some light putty, and then we'll sand that all down, get it all feathered out, and I bet you won't see that. Well, I guarantee when I'm done with it, you won't see it, because that's the whole point of this all. But it's going to look good. Got the whole hood's all sanded. So basically what I'll do is I'll take my shop vac, and I'll suck all that dust out of here, and then I'll wipe the whole thing down. And then once I've sanded this smooth, then we'll prime the whole car again, and we'll start the process all over. So I sanded all the parts down, and like I showed you before, we had a little tiny chip there, so I put a little bit of putty there, and that'll all get sanded. And one thing I noticed about the spoiler, once we sanded it, see how it's got the light spots in it? Those were actually a little high. So once I started sanding it, those sanded down quicker than the primer. So there was a little bit of imperfection in the actual body work, or the mold. So those spots were a little high. Now they're smooth. And same with over here. Everywhere you can see where I sanded, all of this stuff was a little high on the white gel, on the fiberglass or whatever they made the mold. So I went ahead and, it's all perfectly smooth now. And then I had a chip here, so I put a little putty there because the corner was kind of busted off. So I built that corner up again. We'll sand that down. And the same thing on this piece. There was a big chip taken out of that. Once I primed it all, you didn't even really notice that. So I put some little bit of putty on there. Sand that. The chin spoiler, it's perfect. It came out perfect. I didn't need to do anything but sand it. So that's all going to be ready to paint. And I think we'll be good. So next time you see this, all this putty will be sanded back down. And the whole car will be primed again. And let's let's cross our fingers and hope that that was the right move. Any body guys watch this have a better suggestion, I'm all ears, because you know, let's see if that, I bet you I'm gonna make that work though. I bet you when I get that done, it's gonna take a little bit of work. Maybe somebody knows an easier way, but you know, I even thought about running a bead of weld across there and then grinding it with metal. That might have worked too, but my luck, I'd burn holes all the way through it probably. So I'm gonna go this route, and once I get it done, you won't be able to tell. So it should be good enough. All right, that was just a quick little update. You know, I'm slowly working. Hopefully by springtime, that whole car will be painted. It'll look beautiful. And I haven't been working so much on the 77 and the other bay, mainly because I haven't been heating that bay, because that bay is mostly cinder block, and it's really hard to heat that bay. And the heater just works and works and works. This area right here, it's plenty big, it's plenty warm, and as long as I close the doors off to the other bays, it stays nice and toasty out here. So we'll just keep on working on this car for now. As soon as the weather gets a little warmer, I'll finish pulling the engine and tranny out of that one. And I'm thinking I might just go ahead and rebuild that whole motor and make a 347 stroker. Why not? I mean, this horsepower, who doesn't love horsepower? And the more the better. So let's beef it up. The engine's gonna be out. We might as well do it. And I'll do a video on that. That'll be pretty sweet. So that's gonna be cool. So I look forward to doing that. And my plan is to have both of these cars pretty much done about the same time. So I'll be taking turns driving them both. So that'll be cool. So until next time, make sure you like it, tag it, share it, tell everybody about it, hit your notifications so every time one of these awesome videos shows up, you'll know right away. See you later.